Salutatorian, you ready? No. Here we go. One. What are we doing? Round imperial. Nice and easy, not too fast. Ready? And one. And go. Just like pull your hands down. 1, 2, ready, and one. Good evening and welcome to the pre-graduation concert provided by the Tappan Zee High School Band. That was Crown Imperial, composed by British composer William Walton. Next piece we're going to play for you is called Freedom Road. You're taking the Freedom Ride later. nice and easy. Little solo flute action, all the stuff. All right, here we go. One, Got like 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That was Freedom Road, composed by American composer James Kurnow. Next piece we'd like to play for you is the music from the movie Up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was the music from Up. Before we play our final piece of the evening, and which will kind of signify the start of the actual graduation, I'd like to take a minute or a moment to thank all of these wonderful seniors up here. Many of them have been playing in the program since 4th grade. They're very dedicated. They're a special group of students, and I've had the great pleasure and wonderful time working with them over these past 4 years, and I'd like to ask them to stand. All the seniors. It's all right. It is obvious. Obvious is good. All right, guys. All right, we're going to finish our portion of the program with Air Force One, the music from Air Force One. Here we go, guys. Come on, Horace, take your crown now. Ready? 1, 2, and you ready back there? Yeah. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And they're not down yet, so you can put, if I'm a senior, I'm putting my stuff in the case because they haven't started to come down yet. You've probably got another 3 to 4 minutes, so put your instrument away. That would really be great. With the case closed, Anthony. With the case not closed. Love you, buddy. No, you gotta do some. Thanks, guys. Yes.
They're not down.
Sorry. Conference circumstances should not be long. Get it out, that and start banking down most regular time. Walter, congratulations, buddy. Oh, all right. Good job. Had a great 4 years, buddy. Great 4 years. Congratulations, kiddo. All right. Here, why don't you slide over or something? We need to fill up to the front of this section. All right, Jane. Great job, kiddo. Congratulations. Jane and Jane, I'm gonna Jane. You can't beat the Jane and Jane show. Oh.
Jacket.
Hey guys, no.
Thank you.
Sponsored by Pepsi.
Hey guys, if there was a senior near you and they left their stuff open, kind of close it up. Wow, I think that's one of the first times we ever finished and they weren't down the hill yet. And it is 6:30 right now. So I wanted to start on time.
No!
Oh, well, I've been through worse, kiddo. I really have. Ask Mr. Wagner, we've had worse than this. Yeah.
Me too.
No, you're fine. You're fine as well. Not here. I'm sorry. So, let's go. Wow. I think I slide over. Will you for prom? Flutes, I need some flute sounds. Slide over.
It's really hard.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. No.
Where's Tappan Zee?
Now.
Right here.
You ready?
Where is it?
No, I thought you
Not yet. It's like not yet.
Oh, wait, no, I found it.
I would go to the Harvard and
Just a complete start. Dr. Wagner is wearing his doctoral robe. No. And I wouldn't want to operate on anybody either. I hate the sight of other people's blood. My own blood I can deal with, but other people's blood I'm not dealing with. Oh, here we go. One.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes and the Tappan Zee High School Band. Good evening and welcome to Tappan Zee High School's 115th commencement ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce Ruben Straskanda, President of the Student Organization.
Please stand me and join me in the pledge and remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner. Thank you.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening and welcome, Dr. Pritchard, administrators, members of the Board of Education. It is with great pleasure that I present to you the class of 2018. Graduates, I imagine that many of you have special people in your lives here tonight or here with us in spirit, those who have supported you so far along life's journey. Class of 2018, please take a moment to stand with me, turn to the crowd, and acknowledge your family, friends, and loved ones through a nice round of applause. Please stand and say thank you. Thank you. Graduates, on behalf of each person on this stage and all of the teachers, teaching assistants, and support staff with whom you've worked over the years, we're all so proud of everything that you've accomplished so far. We're excited about what challenges you have yet to face and overcome, and we wish each of you great success along life's journey. Be the best versions of yourself and achieve great things. Congratulations. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce our first speaker for tonight, President of the Class of 2018, Kayla McKiernan. A member of Heroes and Cool Kids and of Varsity Athletes Against Substance Abuse, President of the Spanish Honor Society, and features editor of TAP Press, Kayla not only finds a way to fill most of the moments of her day, but also realizes her responsibility to give back to the community, serving as mentor, tutor, and ally to many. She's been a competitive member of our volleyball and softball teams throughout her high school career and has stepped into the coaching arena in her work with the modified basketball team since 2015. Kayla's kind nature and humble spirit lead her to be a friend to those in need, and we know that these core attributes will serve her well as she plans to study Spanish and journalism at Binghamton University in the fall. Please join me in welcoming Kayla McKiernan. You're welcome. Just clip this here for you. There you go.
Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Kulat, members of the Board of Education, administration, faculty, friends, family, and members of the class of 2018, welcome. For the past several months, I've been thinking about what to say for this speech that could encapsulate our 4 years here at Tappan Zee. However, 2 weeks ago, a friend laughingly pointed out my red sock, casually peeking through the holes in my sneakers, threadbare treads, holes in each toe, and the Nike swoosh detached from the side so that it looks like a wing. After describing these to you, if you're feeling sympathetic, feel free to pass around your graduation cap to start a collection for me. Parents, don't be shy, you're welcome to chip in as well. I wear them today with my graduation dressing gown, a total fashion disaster, because these sneakers tell a story. Although extremely mangled, one look at these shoes plastered with red and white paint can spark a flood of memories from our time together at Tappan Zee High School. We walked onto the scene of high school fresh and new in our attire and in our mindsets, ready to embrace the next 4 years of our lives, one step at a time. I can barely remember my sneakers like this anymore. These shoes, slowly but surely, became worn down with time, like the final days of our high school careers. With every tear and every mark, we've left our footprints not only in the halls of Tappan Zee, but in countless other venues as the mighty Red Sea. We've left our footprints on each other's souls through shared experiences, both exhilarating and heartbreaking. These sneakers enthusiastically made their way underneath the basket at the county center when our boys and girls basketball teams made it to the playoffs. And they reluctantly dragged me out after agonizing defeats. They witnessed Joe McHugh at Pace University, where his sneakers carried him out halfway onto the court for a fall celebration. The video is on ESPN if anyone is interested. They have sprinted down the hill during the first football game of the season, and they have run the bases during the Mickey Reeves softball challenge. And let's not forget, these shoes followed Kieran Varga through the hallways during the lip dub, only to see that Dylan Goldstein not only forgot his shoes, but his pants as well. They were worn out at the tennis courts, where we were introduced to arguably the most competitive sport in existence, volley tennis. They also became tattered while hopelessly trying to avoid George. While these shoes are worn down, as others probably are, each scuff, loose thread, broken shoelace, and stain has been well earned through precious and unforgettable memories that my high school experience with all of you has bestowed upon me. We should all have that one pair of sneakers with the red and white paint, as they symbolize the age-old tradition of painting the Tappan Zee Rock. We may or may not have experienced some close calls while on the steep and slippery mountain, but if you take a look behind me, peeking through the trees, I think we can all agree that it turned out all right, despite leaving with more paint covering ourselves than the actual rock. These paint-stained shoes walked me down the hill with all of you, our sense of accomplishment as bright as the red and white streaks that adorned our faces and shirts. Walking in these shoes makes me reminiscent of that day, our first adventure of senior year as one group and one class. However, the most significant memories I have in these shoes are from walking out of places. They were worn walking out of the always amazing plays and musicals performed by the Tappan Zee players in the auditorium each fall and spring. Believe me, Braden Stout's comedy never gets old. On any number of occasions, they were worn out of the building, still trying to imitate Joe Hovigam's incredible dance moves. Lastly, they will be the shoes I wear walking out of my high school graduation tonight. Michael Jordan once said, "It's not about the shoes, it's about what you do in them." As you've heard, we have done a lot in our shoes during our time at Tappan Zee High School. In the future, I know these students, soon to be graduates, sitting before me, will do a lot in their next pair of shoes. Whether they be character shoes, ice skates like Ashton Kavanaugh, the only girl on the hockey team, combat boots in the military, cleats for the myriad of students we have continuing their athletic careers in college, or whatever shoes you need for your next journey in life. Whatever path you choose to take, walk in your shoes with confidence. Hold on to the experiences you endeavor in them, and do not let them stay clean. They say that if you walk a mile in someone else's shoes, you can understand their experiences. I wish everyone had the opportunity to walk a mile in mine. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Kayla. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the salutatorian of the class of 2018, Nicole Malpelli. A member of Mu Alpha Theta, Science Honor Society, History Honor Society, and Italian Honor Society, Nicole is involved across the curriculum. She's also a member of TZ United, a peer tutor, and sports editor of Tappress. Beyond this full schedule, Nicole is a two-sport varsity athlete and has contributed greatly on our softball and basketball teams, not only on the field and court, but also through her leadership as a captain of these teams. Nicole plans to pursue her love of math and science at Duke University in the fall. Please join me in congratulating salutatorian of the class of 2018, Nicole Malpelli.
Thank you. Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Kulat, members of the Board of Education, administration, faculty, friends, family, and members of the class of 2018, welcome. A constellation is defined as a group of stars forming a recognizable pattern. Each of us is our own star with our own fire burning in us. We are the Tappan Zee class of 2018, and while we are all unique, we are also all united. Constellations represent the way in which individual entities form a greater group, much like TZ red and white or avocado hennas. We have accomplished things together that no one individual could have done on their own. We competed in DECA on a national level, won and lost in section finals, were a part of the first Robotics World Championships, and founded the club TZ United. Whether it was from storming the Saunders Court, stressing out about getting to our seat in Duffy's class before the bell rang, or constantly hearing people tell us to let Jow rock, connections have been forged between us that may not always be visible or blatant, but they will always be present and powerful. Building relationships has been the highlight of our journey together, creating bonds that will last a lifetime. Aside from petty quarrels and elusive hashtags, we are able to identify as a class that shoots for the moon and is expected to have infinite success. We are a group of versatile students that do not limit our achievements to single facets of life. We are stars that overlap constellations and are equally important in completing one element of the TZ sky as we are another. Our participation in a plethora of clubs, sports, the arts, and extracurricular activities have not only enriched our individual experiences in high school, but have contributed to fortifying a culture that was established long before we stepped foot in the building where we spent the last 4 years. The foundations of our culture to serve others and leave a place better than when we got there has been instilled in us since the time where the words fiend and shotgun meant completely different things, and when sports goggles were considered an iconic fashion statement. Because of the support we have received throughout our careers, members of our class have been able to do extraordinary things in the band room, on the turf, and in the classroom simultaneously. The sky is not the limit for our class, but rather a starting line for us to discover what change we can create in the future. The closest star to Earth is 4.24 light years away. This is why light from stars takes about 4 years to reach Earth. So, the light we see from the stars tonight will be the light that was produced around the time of our middle school graduation. All throughout our years here, the past has been illuminating our sky. Theoretically, every star we see could have already burned out, and we wouldn't know it. Our last day of school was a microcosm of this concept. We never heard our last bell go off. Instead, we were dismissed early on our last day, and therefore missed the last bell, where everyone is supposed to cry together for the last time at the post-up and chant like we were still jumping up and down in the Red Sea. My good friend made me realize that our last 3 o'clock bell together had been that previous Thursday. For some reason, most of the grade had not been present that Friday, and we all assumed that Monday would be our last full day. But, of course, the one day no one wanted to be dismissed early, we were. We weren't cognizant that we had already heard our last bell, and it finally dawned on us that we had taken that bell for granted. Our days of high school, like the stars do, burned out prematurely. Maybe someone in some twisted galaxy made that pipe burst for a reason, to remind the class of 2018 to appreciate what is happening right now. This is the last time all of us will be sitting in the same place at the same time. Maybe you're overheating right now or sitting next to someone who dozed off once I began this speech by reciting a definition. But this moment is one we will never get back. Just like we can only reminisce about when Kieran had to DJ our Washington dance, or when we all thoroughly believed that Freshman Friday was going to end very badly for us. These times have expired. However, in the future, if you are ever wishing you could relive your memories of high school, you can always look up at the sky and know that someone in the Tappan Zee class of 2018 is under those same stars, wishing they could have one more moment of being a TZ student too. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. The valedictorian of the class of 2018 is Jake Lattis. Jake is one, not because he was in trouble. Just clarify that. Sometimes, the guilt by association with principal. No. When he had an idea to help improve student life at TZ, he was quick to share. He stepped in as a student member on our building level team and assumed a formal leadership role with his classmates. In his time at TZ, Jake has been a member of our soccer program, and this year he served as president of Mu Alpha Theta and Model UN. He was also co-president of the Computer Science Club and a member of the robotics team. He served as vice president for our student organization and History Honor Society. And in his free time, he competed in the Rockland County chapter of the National History Day competition, the National DECA tournament twice in his high school career, and presented a collaborative project to NASA following his sophomore year. And that's not a TZ acronym, that's the real NASA. Each of these opportunities is due to Jake's ability not only to manage many things at once, but also to advocate for those things about which he cares deeply, to take initiatives even when obstacles could potentially divert his path, and make personal connections with others. Taking these great experiences and attributes with him, Jake plans to attend the University of Chicago. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating our valedictorian, Jake Lattis.
Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Kulat, members of the Board of Education, administration, faculty, friends, family, and members of the class of 2018, welcome. The public education system of the United States can at times seem like a factory, as though we were supposed to be simply manufactured. We entered the system as 5-year-olds, young, naive, and lacking knowledge. We were taught to read, to write, to add, to subtract, and to never smoke. Although, to be clear, the song never did give a firm answer on juuling. After we were taught the basics of school, we were shipped off to Tappan Zee Elementary, our next stop in the line. It was there where we encountered our first day test, a bleak, standardized, seemingly pointless aspect of our education. The one and only thing that I remember about our third grade curriculum was that we needed to know units of measure. I remember that unit in particular because my teacher told us the tale of the infamous Gallon Man and turned boring, required units into story time. We were being manufactured, all right, but those factory workers, our teachers, they made sure that we left each and every day with a smile on our face and a little more knowledge in our heads. The state mandates that we complete a certain number of physical education hours in elementary school. But for us, this did not mean running laps, nor did it mean musical chairs. Instead, we got to look forward to roaming Gym City or playing Star Wars dodgeball, whatever that meant. After third grade, our factory bell rang once more, and the new shift came in ready to help us along the line. Cottage Lane did have more state tests and standardized procedures, but it was also the place where many of us began our musical journeys, coming in early every day to learn to play our instruments. We got to design bridges on a budget and learn the ins and outs of fire safety. And when the temperature rose, we would escape the hot classroom and find relief in the infamous kickball tournament. Once we graduated elementary school, we were sent to our next stop in the line, Soames, and we were first to learn that puberty just meant awkward hugs and bad smells. Middle school also had these factory-esque standardized components to our education. Some of us took Regents and experienced the first year of the dreaded Common Core. We learned taxonomy and U.S. history. In so many ways, our teachers were all crafting us into the standard product of American education, a bunch of kids with a bunch of stuff in our heads. But at the same time, we were being forced to do more than the required stuff. Taxonomy meant being forced to play with Ms. Martinez's cockroaches. U.S. history meant going to Washington, D.C. and Hershey Park. See, the conveyor belt was doing its job. We were learning what we were supposed to learn. We did so much more along the way. And then we came here to Tappan Zee High School. We became part of this community, the Red Sea. We sang our chants at football games and applauded our TZ players at their performances. We supported one another and somehow created this unique culture. All the while, we were being passed on from course to course and exam to exam. Physics, chemistry, algebra 1, algebra 2, even English. Every course, test, and hour spent in the classroom was just another step in the process, bringing us closer and closer to becoming the desired product. But what makes us so incredibly fortunate is that our time here was not spent behind desks copying notes over and over until it became ingrained in our heads. Instead, I will remember chemistry as the class in which we blew up lauric acid all over Jack Collins. In physics, we made a guitar. In Euro, we learned that the French lost pretty much every war. And in geometry, we learned that the circumference of Ms. Corcoran's bagels, assembly line, yes. But our teachers, administration, and really us, we gave it all meaning. Coming to school really wasn't the burden that we see it portrayed on TV because we became a part of this community. There were times it was scary at Freshman Friday. There were times it felt evil at turnitin.com. But there were so many times it was great. Winning the league title with the soccer team. Sea Monkey, Jeep Char, Pulse Gang, prom. I think the beauty of our high school experience is that we became part of one another's routine. We said the pledge with Ruben, parked next to the same person, snuck out for Geno's, dapped each other up, and played volley tennis with our best friends every other day. Our high school routine went so much beyond that mandated by the state or by the Common Core, and it did so because we went through it together. There is a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and I feel that now as I stand here among all of you. Mom and Dad, thank you for literally everything. Thank you to all the parents, grandparents, siblings, and everyone else who has helped shape us and get us to this point in our lives. Thank you to the teachers who have taught us to think critically while inspiring us as individuals. I would not be the person I am today if it weren't for the Saturday debates with Ms. Iyer, math puns with Ms. Corcoran, gossip time with Mrs. Connell, and political analysis with Mr. Robertson, just to name a few. Recently, I keep finding myself saying, we are lucky. Lucky that we are able to associate the nuances of our schools with our education as a whole. Lucky that when we think about our time in the district, we think of field day, dance festivals, Washington, D.C., spring musicals, Mr. Robertson's Wildwood presentation, and of course, the Red Sea. We all share the same thing, this collection of experiences that goes beyond the assembly line that is public education. Many of us have spent 13 years in this district, but none of us will remember the Regents nor Avogadro's number. What I want to remember are the people that made these years the best of my life, the laughs we shared, and the community we built. We're done. We have been produced. I'm just so lucky I was produced here alongside all of you. We will always be Dutchmen clad in red, and as the great Stephen Gerrard once said, when you wear red, you'll never walk alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Dr. Pritchard, with the power vested in me by the state of New York, I hereby certify that the students seated before you have successfully completed all of the requirements for a diploma from Tappan Zee High School. It is with pride that I present to you the class of 2018.
Thank you, Dr. Amos. Trustees of the Board of Education, Principal Amos, colleagues, parents, friends, and family, and especially our Tappan Zee High School class of 2018. I am privileged to be your superintendent and honored to speak to you tonight. Above all, I wish to express a debt of thanks to the many family members and loved ones who are joining us here tonight. Without your love and support, none of this would be possible. Tonight, we are here to celebrate an incredible milestone. Everyone in this audience, on this platform, and throughout this supportive community is unified, beaming, and excited for these young men and women, the class of 2018. Graduating seniors, the being, the knowing, and the doing. By now, someone has probably asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? People still ask me this question. You might respond by saying you want to be a policeman or a cook or a scientist, maybe even a school teacher. But that wouldn't be an example of what you want it to be, but what you want to do. For example, if someone asks you what you wanted to do as a job, you might respond by saying, I want to do research, I want to help people, I want to make things. Those are all things that you might do, and all of those activities require training, education, and a plan to develop practical experience. My guess would be that each of you has some sort of plan to do something after you graduate and to know more in order to be competent in those areas. Some of your plans might be more definitive than others. You've all grappled with the question of what you might do or what you might need to know, but it still doesn't address the question of what or whom you want to be. So let's go back to my original question. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm going to answer that question for myself. Again, I'm speaking metaphorically. I don't aspire to be an inanimate object like a rocking chair or a lawnmower. The point I'm attempting to make is that a shopping basket can be filled with important things like groceries. The most valuable things that we might put into a shopping basket at the grocery store are those things that are often the most perishable. That notwithstanding, our beings can be filled like shopping baskets at the grocery store. The things that we fill ourselves with are the most valuable as part of our being. And these are the things that are perishable. Here are a few examples. I want to be filled with courage. Courage is the strength to confront our fears, and some of us confront those fears on a daily basis. I want to be filled with hope, which is the understanding that our actions will have a meaningful impact in the future. This is the feeling that things will turn out for the best. And you can't have joy without hope. Lastly, I want to be filled with faith, which is an understanding that you can have trust in the people around you and they can trust you. Some of you heard the parable of the mustard seed in the baccalaureate service last Sunday. And I'm not speaking about the term faith in the religious or the spiritual sense, but I'm talking about faith in the secular or temporal sense. For instance, I have no faith in the mailbox that I put my letter into when I mail a letter. I'm the guy who puts the letter in, and I look in there after I put it in because I don't have faith in how a mailbox works. And then when I check it a second time, well, that's just compulsive behavior. Anyway, the question, what or who do you want to be, can be answered as simply as wanting to be courageous, to be hopeful, and to be faithful. And here's the good news. You don't have to wait until you're all grown up. You can be all of those things right now. As a matter of fact, I would strongly suggest that you commit to know what you want to be before you commit to knowing what it is that you want to know or be able to do. When you go off to college or off into life, you will gain a better understanding of what you may want to do as a career and the related skills and knowledge that you will need to accomplish those goals. You will likely have many people who will advise you and guide you along the way. However, it can be very challenging to create, sustain, or regain courage, hope, and faith, especially when facing adversity. I mean, as I said earlier, these qualities are perishable. As anyone who has lost faith or who has lost hope or has lost their nerve can attest. My best advice to you now is that you build all of these facets of your being by filling your hearts with as much love as your hearts can possibly hold. The more your heart is filled with love, the less room there is for fear or anger or jealousy, despair, or hatred. Love allows you to let go of those things that may prevent you from being courageous, from being hopeful, and being faithful. Now, speaking of putting as much love into your hearts as your hearts can possibly hold, love has had an immeasurable impact on you, on who you are today. Love from your teachers, your classmates, and of course, those incredibly important people who are sitting behind you this evening, your families. Your teachers have sparked a resiliency in you to seek the truth and to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. The gift that they have given you is a love of learning and an endless curiosity for the world around you. Your classmates, some of whom it looks like will remain your friends for the rest of your lives, have shown you the meaning of trust, loyalty, yes, faith, and a collective sense of self. As a Tappan Zee High School alumnus, it is my sincere hope that you will treasure what it means to be a Dutchman and that you will never know the feeling of being alone. Lastly, and most importantly, take some time in the next few days to appreciate your families. Appreciate them before you embark on the next leg of your journey. These people have been and will continue to be your biggest supporters. They love you more than you can ever know and are very proud of all that you have achieved. In closing, have faith in yourselves, be courageous, and remain hopeful for the endless possibilities that lie before you.
At this time, I would like to invite Secretary of the Senior Class, Francesca Batelli, and Treasurer of the Senior Class, Ava Genovese, to the stage to read the class roll.
Jake Lattis. Nicole Malpelli. Kayla McKiernan. TJ McKiernan.
Francesca Batelli. Ruben Strisconda.
Emmanuel Abanqua. Selena Abruzzese.
Wait, we skipped me. Oh my god.
Mark Atchison. Anna Acosta. Go now. Ava Genovese. Eric Alf. Walter Alf. Amy Actemir. Leah Actemir. Elizabeth Akos. Anthony Albanese. Shayna Alden. Jamil Alexander. Nicholas Alvarado. Hannah Amaral. Michael Anisi. Vito Antonucci Jr. Gabrielle Arroyo. Dana Badalamente. Mia Barbado. Marcello Bardusco. Christina Battaglia. Jennifer Baum. Rachel Bernstein. Joseph Blanchet. Bryce Blumenthal. Christopher Bernardi. Alicia Borges. Caitlin Baruso. Brenna Boyle. May Bukowski. Timothy Burke. Danielle Caligari. Connor Callan. Joseph Cantatori. Julia Cantatori. Parker Cantone. Elizabeth Carroll. Myra Karumba. Jillian Cascone. Jennifer Caserma. Ashling Kavanaugh. Adam Chicato. Matthew Sespi. Daisy Chavez. Matthew Chun. Victoria Champanelli. Francis Clancy. Christina Colella. Jack Collins. Raymond Constancio. Ilana Cooperman. Tobias Corser. Olivia Cosimano. Ryan Cuccia. Joseph Cusimano. Trevor Davgin. Carlos de Jesus. Samuel Del Corral. Liana De La Rosa. Rafaela Delia. Matthew D'Amelio. Nicholas Denza. Emily Durfus. Chelsea Dermody. James Demola. Joseph D'Imperio. Vin Damjani. Julia Dominguez. Mary Kate Donahue. Seamus Donahue. Isabella Duarte. Mario Elias. Joseph English. Michael English. Alan Espinal. Nicholas Estevez. Sasha Fireman. Kira Fillmore. Cassidy Fleury. Vincent Fulmer. Samantha Ford. David Fowler, Stephen Francabandera, Robert Frost, Caitlin Fuller, Lauren Fusco, Samir Gasovic, Allison Gadd, Ria Gandhi, Nicholas July, Giovanna Godinez, Dylan Goldstein, John Guntarek, Elijah Gordon, Emily Gordon, Lily Gordon, Michael Grammatica, Gabriella Greisberg, Leah Gutman, Grant Hanchar, Tara Harris, Ian Healy, Ryan Hennessy, Sean Henry, Jessica Hauser, Joseph Hovigam, Michael Hovigam, Nicholas Hovigam, Gary Hugh, Kieran Hull, Mekany Hull, Leanna Iobi, Madison Jackson, Mitchell Jacobs. Matthew Johansmeyer. Mary Kate Johnson. William Joyner. Jack Cable. Sage Karjewski. Catherine Keene. Mark. Ryan Kenny. Tyler Kenny. Luke Kiley. Andrea Kim. Austin Kim. Susanna Kleiner. Maria Klepper. Paul Contopenagiatis. Madison Kasulis. Kayla Koval. Tristan Kuiper.
Catherine Lacker. Ryan Lawson. Alex Lederer. Brendan Lee. David Lee. Eileen Lee. Jane Lee. Allison Lair. James Lennon. Anastasia Leone. Lauren Lepore. Taylor Lepore. Kaylee Liang. Tyler Lowe.
Trinity Lundemo. Patrick Lunny. John Lynch. Morgan Lynn. Zulema Magana Sanabria. Thomas McGuire. James Marr. Connor Malanaphy. Ryan Maloney. Melissa Mancia. Alexander Marco. Carlos Martinez. Marissa Matthew. John McCarter. Brianna McCarthy. Caitlin McDonough. Thomas McGivney. Ryan McGovern. Teresa McGovern. William McGuire. Joseph McHugh. Sophia McHugh. John McKiernan. Jesse McMorrow. William McMurray. Christina Melanson. Alexander Mendez. Juliana Mignon. Diana Miracaj. Peter Mitchell. Kayla Montina. Colin Moriarty. Julia Moser. Jackson Munkin. Olivia Navedo. Olivia Newcomb. Daniel Nolan. Rafael Nolasco. Jessica Nuri. Emmett O'Boy. Jenna O'Brien. Maya O'Brien. James O'Donnell. Kaylin Oliva. Sandra Olzeski. I messed it up. Julia Okendo. Tig O'Riordan. Matthew O'Sullivan. Jacqueline Peglioka. Sarah Pan. Emma Piskowski. Alexandra Peraza. Eleonora Pescittini. Sean Peterson. Connor Petrie. Carolyn Forty. Timothy Piesco. Adelina Petrovic. Joey Pablete Jr. Thomas Pollock. Michael Poppy. Simon Chris Prinsloo. Emma Prince. Jane Pritchard. Vilnius Puris. Bilal Kazi. Daniel Quirk. Jessica Raganisi. Kirsten Ranieri. Thomas Reeves. Jalen Reyes. Pedro Rivera. Sarah Rivera. Diana Rizzo. Yancy Rodriguez. Wilson Rodriguez. Matthew Russell. Michael Savatiri. Vincent Skasha. Samantha Schaller. Caroline Scherf. Haley Schroeder. Brianna Skolin. Kyle Shalvey. Megan Shalvey. Jacqueline Shanley. Mackenzie Shanley. Cole Sheely. Jacqueline Sheridan. William Sicklick. Ryan Siegel. Ailey Snow. Joseph Swarmani. Joseph Stahl. Rhiannon Stapleton. Stanley Stolarski. Brian Stone. Braden Stout. Nikia Sturdivant Reyes. Andrew Suarez. Daniel Suarez. Eve Sullivan. Garrett Sullivan. Tara Sullivan. Sophia Tasker. Robert Tisello III. Angelica Thomas. Nishan Tarigian. Sean Trainer. Eric Tremsky. Ashley Tromer. Emily Trazo. Kevin Valdez. Kieran Varga. John Varaya Jr. Nicole Varaya. Miranda Vicenti. Nicholas Violetto. Isabel Wecht. Jonathan Weisberg. Matilda Jacopino. Jessica Yanta. Matthew Yuvienko. Mario Zamora Jr.
Thank you. Before we close tonight's ceremony, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Mr. Bill Hughes, Dr. Russell Wagner, and the Tappan Zee High School musicians for sharing their talent this evening. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our custodial, maintenance, and facilities work for them pulling off almost the impossible this morning and getting us ready. That was fantastic. And before the final event, I also want to remind our graduates to pick up their diplomas outside the counseling office inside. At this time, TJ McKiernan, Vice President of the Class of 2018, please join me and address your class one more time.
Class of 2018, please rise. Please move your tassels from right to left. Congratulations.